Don't you know that the music should be solemn?
Hey, what's happening? What's going on? You're in a new room, Theo. Look at you.
Look at this.
You said you put on 3 pounds already.
3 pounds already. I'm doing it nice and slow. All in my hair. Yeah, I'm in a new room in the, we're still in the rental house till we move into the new house. She's got me in a closet at this point. I was gone for so many months. She was like, let me tell you where your new area
You're in
is.
there.
Yeah. This is where you're going to do it with Kim. I don't want to hear you. So you're going to be in there. But
how is it, man? How are the kids? How's the pups? How's the new dog? How's Megan? How are you?
So it's interesting.
Come on, welcome home.
Thank you. It was interesting, man. You go from, if this is for anyone who has kids or just a really active life, I want you to think about something for a minute, because it's hard to say if you can't think about it. Look at this hair. It's nuts still. Okay. So think about this. My life is pretty chaotic, like everyone's, especially I have a 3 and a 5-year-old. I got, a brand new rescue dog. And we're moving.
It's
and
full on for you, little brother.
It's full on. I went away in a situation that will never occur again. You and I talked about this. 3 months. I said it on the last
lockdown.
Lockdown. No going to the grocery store. No going to the dry cleaners. No doing anything. Getting everything delivered. Going to set. Coming home. Going to set. Coming home. Going for walks. Going for runs.
Staying smart in this crazy world.
Yeah, and just fully isolated.
Yeah.
I came home to 2 wildlings. My sons are right, and the new dog who's a puppy is right, and everybody's just it's almost like they're flying at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and you just go, wait a second. Yeah. 2 minutes ago, I was like watching YouTube videos about thermodynamics and quantum physics.
To break out of that room forever, and then wait a minute. Maybe I need to go back for a second.
Maybe everyone needs to go into like full isolation for like 2 days a week or 3 days a week, but whatever. But, I got to tell you, now that I'm back in, it's almost a week. It's like 5-6 days. And, eating normal again, back to, running and the routine and working out.
Banana bread, baby.
Banana bread. She made these chocolate muffins this morning that are crazy.
I can smell them from here.
Yeah, I was taking the butter knife, cutting out the ends to check, because I like the burnt stuff.
So do I. Isn't that weird?
I do. I love the burnt stuff. I just like that. So and the kids are sitting there watching, Moana and Meet the Robinson, all these movies. And
did they look at their dad and go, "Hi, Dad"?
I got to tell you something that was pretty cool.
What was that moment like, bro?
Well, I got to tell you, they came to get me at the airport. 3 months for a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old. More for the 5-year-old, Kane. He came to the back of the truck when I was putting the luggage in. I took my mask off and all that. I was flying with the double mask on. I don't know what the protocols are now. I didn't know if I should go in an outbreak suit or a football helmet. I didn't know what you're supposed to do on planes anymore. Right. So I came down. Oh, Allie's entered the waiting room. There she is. All right, we got time. Hold on. We'll get to that. Here's a moment I'll never forget. Kane and Arlo came to the back of the truck. And can you hear me?
Yeah, beautifully. Yeah.
Hold on. So Kane and Arlo came to the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And for some reason, my screen's not switching here. Kim, hold on.
I'm talking. Hang on. Yeah, I'm not switching anywhere. What happened?
What happened? Why? Maybe it's switching and we don't know it, but that's okay. So I'm just going to finish and then we'll see what happens.
All right.
And when he came up to the back of the car, he came up and we looked at each other and he started crying and I started crying and we were both crying. And it was an incredible moment. It was an incredible moment to see. Kim,
Yeah.
you're not switching. Is that what you're worried about?
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, I'm going
actually,
to talk and see what I still don't come down there at all.
Not happening. What do you want to do? You want to start
Hey,
again or something?
No,
What
I
do you
don't
wanna
want
do?
to start again. I mean,
No,
but
we're
we
not
gotta-
going to start again. I'm
we
not
gotta
doing
see
that.
Allie. We got to see Allie. I'm
We
worried
got to
about
see
not,
Allie.
like if we don't see Allie, that's not going to
Yourself,
be good.
this is all happening while we're doing this, by the way. Do you notice this?
Yeah, well, this is how we roll. You are today. Yeah.
But I don't like that I'm not seeing myself and I'm seeing you, because that means that
I'm only seeing you and not me. That's weird.
that is weird. And it's going to be even weirder for the people who are talking. And we don't edit things out, the people who are watching this, because then they're just going to see you listening. Right. And that's just weird.
Get out.
Get
I'm
out.
getting out.
Get out.
Are we recording again now, Theo?
We're recording again. This is 2 weeks in a row. Is somebody trying to tell us something?
Yeah, we're getting too big for our own britches, man.
I know.
I don't know.
And speaking of too big, I did want to talk about something quickly.
Yeah.
Apparently I can't see myself on screen, but hopefully I look good. Here's what's
You do look good. I can see you in the little box.
little box that I'm in. What's in the box? Okay, so check this out. I know you don't like looking at yourself the whole time. You're uncomfortable. Look at you.
Well,
No,
actually, I'm just looking at you, which is better for me.
Got it.
I just
Okay.
see you in the big screen up there with the green dedication to Ireland, even though this is a Riders shirt. It's
It is
to
the Riders.
Ireland, which we'll talk about when we get into reviewing the episode.
We're going to review the episode later.
Yeah.
We're going to bring Allie, the great Allie Walker, the great one, the greatest villain ever on TV, proven again by the episode we're about to review.
The queen of the bad guys. My goodness.
And she really outdid herself in this episode, which is called,
Do you want me to try it right now?
please.
Okay, it's called No Triobloidi. No Triobloidi.
What does it mean?
Northern Ireland. It means the troubles.
Mm.
The
You're
troubles.
You're always good at looking these up. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's just boom. I mean, I just put that in there and it came
The
right up.
Troubles in
The
Gaelic
Troubles.
or something. What is it?
Maybe it's in Irish, probably, but I'm not sure it's Gaelic, but sure, why not? But it's definitely the troubles in Northern Ireland with the Protestants and the Catholics, and went on for decades and decades and decades. Thank goodness it's kind of hopefully in the back seat now.
Okay, so she's tremendous on that. We're very excited to have her on. Everybody else is very excited. But before we get the great, stupendous, crazy character Allie Walker on, Agent June Stahl, you and I are going to be launching the same day this comes out, which is the season 2 finale called
Yeah, you did it.
Yeah.
Non Triobloidi.
Triobloidi. Okay.
Yeah.
And then and then
Triobloidi.
Allie's on it. And then at the same day, we're going to be launching our new show,
Yeah.
Theory, with Theo Rossi and Kim Coates on
Yeah.
Patreon, which is basically not a totally different show. It's basically what you and I are doing now, just without the reviews. And we're going to be talking about everything. And I know that you and I have a ton of stuff that we've been wanting to talk about, that we do talk about offline, and that we're now just going to record. But that's not all it is. We're going to be doing that new
Much
show.
more than that, little brother.
It's much more than that. We're going to be doing that new show. And then for the people that come with us in this, there's a couple of things that are going to be, and I'm getting them sent to me before the launch as this builds up. There's going to be 3 different tiers.
Right.
There's going to be the Prospect, the Nomad, and something else.
Club member? I don't even know if it's a club member.
I don't even know. Oh, it's Reaper Crew.
The Reaper Crew. There you go.
Right.
Prospect, Nomad, Reaper Crew. Love
Yeah,
all-
and those are the 3 different tiers of coming on to this thing on Patreon. And ultimately, the main thing that's really cool on the first level, that's going to be for every level, is we're going to do a thing called Discord. Do you know what Discord is?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Allie's just texted me. I'm sorry. I just had to say that I'm letting her know that we're coming.
Coming in 2 minutes, tell her. 2 minutes. I just want to talk about this Discord thing because I
Yeah.
just found out about it. I just watched a video about it. Ultimately, it's going to be like this group, this big group thing that happens on Patreon with all the members that we're also going to be a part of. You, me, and not just me and you, but Justin, Caesar, anybody who's part of the team. And it's like this online, like on Patreon, like basically club, like chat, and everybody's just talking about different subjects.
Yeah.
And then we can pipe in when we want, and you can even do it in audio, like by sending like audio responses or just, text responses. So that's going to be on, and people can do different subject matters. So once you're a member, you'll have the Discord group. They're going to have, this is a big one, early access to all the merch. So super early access to the merch.
Yeah.
Early access to our Reaper reviews, which is like we've been doing, available everywhere, but you'll have it a day earlier.
Cool.
And then the cool thing is for the Reaper crew group, they're going to be getting, this is one thing we've been toying with, is
it's so new. You're looking it up right now.
Yes. Yeah, so new, I don't know anything. It's brand new. It's all happening today.
It's all happening right now.
Like right now. So ultimately, in the Reaper crew, you get everything that's in the Prospect and Nomad tiers, but you get credit as a Reaper crew producer of the podcast. Your name gets listed at the end of the YouTube videos. And then basically
you get better billing than I do. Jesus.
Yeah. And then not just do you get,
for heaven's sakes,
you can suggest all the topics for the Discord channel, plus you can suggest topics for us to discuss and talk about.
Good.
Plus all the Reaper, the Reaper crew store merch and all that stuff. And then the other thing in the Nomad group, and not in the first group, but in the Nomad group, the Reaper crew group, you get access to the live monthly Q&A that you and I are going to do. We're going to do a live monthly.
I'm going to be working my ass off now.
You're going to have to work.
Find the time.
No, you got to work. You might be doing this from the toilet.
Speaking of, okay, you know what, Theo? That's going to be Wednesday, April the 14th. We're launching it. Wednesday, April 14th. And Theo and I will continue to make this easier for everyone to know how to join, why they're joining, all the special shit that you and I are going to continue to do for all our fans out there in the family and the fam crowd. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Now, we've got to get to her.
Let's go. We're bringing her in. Here we go.
Bringing her in.
Let's hope that this thing works. Here we go.
Allie Walker, connecting to audio. That's
connecting to audio. Can you hear me? Oh wait, I
can hear you. Where's you? There you.
Oh my God, I got a new computer and everything's really fast.
Allie Walker.
Wow. We just watched you last night.
How are you guys? You look great.
Thank you. You look amazing. This is so bizarre to us. I just want to start by saying, first of all, how amazing this is.
Walker. Oh my
Allie, God. We've never watched the show, and we started this thing during the
pandemic. Watched it. I don't watch it.
I got to tell you something. We've never watched it, and now we're watching it.
Uh-huh.
And I understand why everybody was so nuts about it. And you've never watched. You got to watch this show.
I was telling Kim earlier, I saw a snippet. I was like, man, I should go see what episode they're doing. And I watched a trailer or something. And I was like, oh yeah, that's the one where I kill that guy's son.
Oh my God, it's amazing.
It was so cool looking. It was like a Marlon Brando kind of thing.
Crazy. It's crazy. I know you never really, it's so weird. Again, Kim and I are figuring this all out. You were such a giant part of the show.
Really?
Like the biggest looming presence for the first 3 years of anyone on that show.
We have never, and coming from me and even Theo, playing the bad boys that I've played, Allie, I now get it. I now understand the lunacy and the hate love for you and your incredible talent to play Agent June Stahl the way you did. Now that Theo and I have watched all the shows from 1, 2, and 3. No, you're beyond brilliant.
These are sweet.
Oh, it's so good.
Beyond girl.
It's so good. It's so good.
What was it like for you, Allie? Come on, share.
What was it like for me to play June? It was really different from anything I'd ever done. I mean, I'm usually, the smart girl or the quirky girl or I'd just come off of an HBO show when I did that, where it was all about intimacy. So the acting was really stripped down and raw. You're just very emotional, very vulnerable. And then, it was weird because I came on that show and Kurt had he had originally envisioned her to be this sexy, she wanted to get Hale in bed all the time and everything. And I don't know what happened. At one point, I just kind of snapped and made her hate men, especially bad men, because she was in a man's world. Yeah. And she was ferocious. I don't know what happened with that character. I just kind of, Kurt's a really good writer. He must have seen something in me or something, because I just became like, kind of vindictive and ferocious, and I loved it. And
would he tell you at the beginning of season 2 or 3 what was going to happen with you?
No, and it was really weird because I was only supposed to come on for a couple of episodes. Wow. They said 2 or 3 episodes max if you do it. And I'd known Kurt before, and I was like, yeah, sure, man, I'll do whatever, And she was originally written as kind of this sex pot, tough agent, ATF agent. And I kept getting this really weird feeling, honestly, the whole time, that I was disappointing Kurt. Because he wouldn't really talk to me.
Sutter had that thing going on.
I was like, am I overacting? He
made everybody feel like that.
Am I really bad here? You guys can tell me the truth. And, but nobody said anything. So I was just like, blanket. I was just like, okay, well, I'll just do her, and I just did her and went home. It was crazy though. It was fun, man. It was a really wild ride.
But Ali, I got to tell you something, and I've been fortunate enough since then, and even a little before then, to play some of these wild characters. You look like you had so much fun. Like when you were doing things that. My favorite thing in acting, and Kim and I talk about this all the time, is when a character comes on screen, you don't know what's going to happen. You're like, what is going to happen? Are they going to laugh? Are they going to cry? Are they going to punch you? Are they going to do this?
Right.
And when you came on as that character, it was completely unpredictable. Everything that happened in her nature, whether it be her relationships, grabbing Unser's crotch, or like literally like, shooting people and then blaming
your
them.
Humor. Your humor amongst the tough ATF, calculating, thinking in front of the screen what you're going to do next. Sometimes when you were put in a pickle, you always had humor underneath. It was just crazy, Ali.
Thank you. Oh my God, you guys make me feel so good. I think June was really, really sharp cookie, and I think she was like a cat with mice. That's how I likened her. I think in my head.
Oh, there you go.
Just watching them, let them hang themselves, and I'll help them along down the road. And that, ultimately was her undoing. She just thought by that point, she destroyed so many people and betrayed everybody that she just thought she could keep doing it. But, they got wise to the cat. So it was really fun, and I mean, we've all known people, like, I think a lot, I don't know about you guys, but when I act, I start doing things. Like, she was very surprising to me. And honestly, a lot of it has to do with Kurt's writing, because it was so good. Yeah. But I would just find myself just being so different than anything I'd ever thought of or done. And I found myself sort of mimicking people that I really didn't like very much, that that were very arrogant and very like the breath intake. A lot of people got that. There are 2 people that I've had to be around that are very.
Did you come up with that? Like, what the hell?
I did it naturally, dude. I mimicked this guy who I had to deal with for a long time. And he was so arrogant, and he'd always talk to me. It's a way of talking down to people, like, this bores me. And I didn't know I was doing it. And I was like, what? They don't like, and I started reading on Twitter, why the fuck is she breathing in every time? And I was like,
so good.
I'm doing that. So I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but I just found myself pulling in characteristics that I didn't know that I had thought about or watched, and I was kind of mimicking things, and it was just really fun.
Theo, I don't know if you know this, Ali, but when Rossi came up with this idea to do theory with him and myself, and now that we're kind of exploding everywhere, we're bringing on beautiful guest stars like you to talk about the experience. Theo and I had seen maybe a third of the shows, certainly every premiere, every finale, and a few sprinkled. Now that we have seen 1, 2, and 3, this is our final episode of the first 3 seasons that we have to review. We've seen all your stuff, all of it.
How is it?
All of it.
You do go at the end of season 3, as you remember. Yeah. And I'm telling you, Walker, I get it now. I get why you were in infamy of the fans of going, fuck no, get her. you were just amazing.
But at the same time, what's so brilliant is you have these moments where I don't remember what season it was. Maybe it's 2. I think it's the beginning of 2, where when you get out of the car, like, and everybody's having a party, you're kind of cool with everyone, where you're on their level. It's almost like everybody understands each other. But at the same time, just like this episode I just watched last night, season 2, first time I remember seeing it, is at the same time you'll set up Gemma and throw the gun to her, and always calculating when she shot Edmund. And just like when she shot her partner, always calculating, like there's always stuff going on.
Yeah.
I think that why the fans, listen, I always say this show is so ahead of the game in so many ways, in the character, the way, just the show of how powerful the women were.
Just the way you guys fit together was bizarre. I mean, you don't see that. I was like, wow, they really flow, and usually
tell them what you said to me this morning, Allie, just about the 8 of us, 9 of us walking out of the
just like I just saw this trailer. I was like, I got to watch this. So and it was you guys just walking out of this place, and just like the looks and it was just very hip, and it reminded me of Marlon Brando, that whole era of like that masculinity, which I don't think you see a lot of anymore, where there's this camaraderie between men, but there's this like bang, they're like guys, and it was like, it was real. And that's not to say that guys aren't that way in other shows, but you guys just fit together effortlessly. And I was like, oh wow, they were all really good together. Because I didn't get, I knew you guys probably the best of anybody, because a lot of the guys wouldn't even talk to me. A lot of the guys remained in character, and they treated me, and I was like, hey guys, how's it going? And then it would be like, yeah, whatever, and I was like, oh my God, except for Charlie and I were pretty close, but I didn't really get to know anybody. But then when I watched you guys kind of snap into place with each other, it was just it was kind of a magical casting, actually, I think, on that show, because everybody.
Wendy O'Brien. Theo talks about this all the time. Wendy O'Brien putting this all together, all the faces and the sizes and the heights, and we were all just really talented men and women. And
I think it started with the Oz, Sopranos, The Wire type, where you take all these character actors. The Shield is obviously one of the greatest examples. And I remember when they were casting that, and it was called The Barn, and you had Chiklis coming from the commission. You had all these guys who nobody knew, but we knew they were really good actors,
brilliant actors.
And then you put them all together, and you go, okay, let them do their thing. Yeah. And Sean writes that show, and it becomes this group of character actors who is so happy to just be on screen that they're going to elevate everything they're in. KJ,
they're amazing. And that's what I think with Sons of Anarchy, just do the work. I mean, I just do my work. I go to work, I do my job. I just try to do the best I can, and it's not like and you could really feel that sort of commitment to doing the work on the show, and it was good.
When you get it, when you get it, you're going to do it. You say, oh, okay, we're going to do 2-3 episodes. Sure. I'll do whatever you want. But then it goes because remember, this is back in the day of 6 months on, 6 months off. For 3 years, over 3.5 years, you're playing June Stahl. Yeah. And this is kind of infancy of social media really popping the way it is.
That was the beginning of it.
Yeah, it's the beginning of it. People have to wait. Did you see people who were like, the hate love towards Stahl?
Oh no. I had people in real life. It was kind of strange, because I've always had people have been really kind to me. People will come up to me and say, I loved you in Profiler, I love Tell Me You Love Me, or whatever. And they have always been really genuine and nice to me. And dude, I started getting guys who were like 18 and 20 years going, you are such a bitch. And I was just like I'd be in the mall or going to a movie, and I'd be like, thanks. And then they'd be like, but they were cool, because they were like, I love you, but I hate you. You're such, and women too. And it really, the kind of like, it was a little overwhelming, because I was like, I mean, Profiler was pretty overwhelming too, because that was, that had a lot of followers or people watching it. But this was a whole new group of people, and they hated her. Yeah. Like, they really hated her. Like, some of the letters were not, I got a lot of letters, the people at the studio were like, look, you gotta be aware, you're getting a lot of hate mail. And I was just
Really?
like, really?
Oh,
I was
God,
like,
I hate hearing that.
But it's
Yeah, it was
funny you
weird.
bring up the profiler, and it's true. Like TV has changed so much, right? Like we even talk about Sons, who had like 15 million people watching or something with the
that's a lot.
You know, that
Yeah,
that doesn't
it's a ton.
happen anymore. Like
No,
that's
I had
over
21 million people watching me on Profiler every Saturday
crazy.
night for, and it's just, I mean, when you think about how
Yeah.
many, I mean, go on Netflix, go on any of these streamers, and there's like 4,000 shows.
Yeah.
So it's like really, I'm really happy that we were able to like kind of capture a market without it being so dilute, that you just don't even, you really have to work hard to stand out.
Yeah. And I was telling someone this last night. It's why they feel so close to you. Because see, now, if us three were to binge watch a show, let's say in 2 weeks or a week,
right?
We don't live with the people. We don't know them as well. So somebody goes, how was the show? We go, it was good, right? It was pretty good. And unless it's a high profile name, and even if it is, you only know them as who they are outside of the show.
Yeah.
But when you're living with people for 7 years, and you're taking 6 months off with them, and then you're coming back to them, they feel like they're part of your family. So when they see you out or see you in anything, you become so
real to them. You become very real to them.
And that's why I think Sons, really maybe Game of Thrones is kind of the end. Walking Dead will be the end.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I really think you're right. I mean, it's a serialized thing where every week you look forward. I mean, how many people watch DR and Friends? It was because you were looking forward to that next week. We were all sharing it at the same time. Now you can get a whole season of this, a whole season of that. You get beginning, middle, and end right away. It's almost like watching a really long movie, in some cases. And you're not like holding on for that next. At least I don't. I usually just wait till they're all wrapped up.
It's all true. And if you think about this, when we would wrap the show on television, on FX, on John's network, it was the end of November, beginning of December. Those fans, after watching what happened in this finale that we'll talk about in a minute, Allie, with Theo and I will, but what happens at the end of that show, those fans had to wait 9 months. To see it in September. Think about that, right, Theo? Like 9 months. It's
unbelievable. And I think what it does is, again, it makes you think about them all the time. Your brain actually has to think. So then you're thinking about like Stahl. Why did Stahl do that? She set up Gemma. I can't believe it. And they get mad, and then they go through all these emotions. And then when you pop back on screen 9 months later, they have a relationship towards that character, right? Now what it's done is it's really changed acting in a way, because you can just plug in any actor into a show, because there isn't this sustainability of an artist, right? You don't need to have. So I think that we're so fortunate, and especially you with the shows before it, and us with, all the movies and shows before it, is we come from a different era of the way things are, and you're able to get into people's subconscious more. And I think that us watching this now is, first of all, watching it with the style and the way it is, it feels like it's 100 years ago. And at the same time, it's really relevant. I don't know if you can get away with half the stuff that's on the show now in today's world. I don't think you can, but I do think that it pushed a lot of boundaries. But for you, like when I look at that character, like one of the things that stands out was that stuff with Otto was brutal that you had to do. Brutal. Like the stuff I had to do with Manson, the stuff he had to do with his daughter and all that. But the stuff you did with Otto, where he's smashing your face, and your character was always in it, and you were getting like some of the most gritty stuff you were doing.
How was your stunt gal, Allie? She must have been amazing.
Oh, my stunt gal was amazing. She was
like
great.
Amazing.
I mean, I couldn't believe she did that. I was just like, whoa, are you okay?
Right?
It was crazy. That was, I think that's when June really committed, when she says, I'm going to kill these out. What does she say? I'm going to take them out or something like that.
I'm going to take them all out.
She's just like, okay, that's it for you. And I think that starts, her loss of humanity kind of track, where the only thing is get them. The only thing. And it was really watching that girl, do that. I was just like, ooh, just, because you imagine it's real when you're the actor and you're imagining it. And it was pretty gross. It was pretty ugly,
I have to go to the next one. I have to know, in the car with Opie.
Yeah.
at the end of the train ride.
Amazing scene.
You're in that car. He's behind you. Ryan Hurst is behind you. Tell us about that day. Just tell us about what you remember about that day.
So, I've that was tough. That was really, it was sad because I was leaving the show, and I love Ryan because I'd known Ryan before outside of, the whole Sons of Anarchy thing. And Kurt didn't talk. Kurt directed that episode and didn't really talk to me. And then, I don't like to talk to people.
Right.
I don't like to talk to people before I do it. Right. When I was younger, I used to plan things out, and I stopped doing that. I stopped doing that like 20 years ago because it would get in my way because other people don't react the way you think they're going to. And so I became like, I would do a lot of work in my head, like just imagining it. And then I let it go. And then I try to show up and see what happens. I always like to jump off a diving board when I act.
Such great advice. Such great advice.
Then it's fun for me because otherwise it's boring for me because I don't want to do it if I have to go, And, Kurt was like, okay, well, you got to do this. And I said, yeah, I got it. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I had no idea what I was going to do. And then I just went into the moment and was like, you start thinking those thoughts, like, they're not going to really kill me. And like, you get in it. Man, I just did it. I don't even remember. I just remember being like, it was intense. And, it's like that when you have to be very emotional in scenes. The worst thing you can do is go, I'm going to cry here. That's right. You'll never cry.
Never.
You just have to be in the moment and be like, actually, I tell myself, don't cry. And then I'm bawling my eyes. I don't know. I just jumped off the edge there. And then Kurt was like, okay, great. That's it. Yeah. I had to maybe do a couple of pickup shots from the side. And I was just like, all right. And that was it. And I went home.
The brilliance of that scene, the brilliance of it is right before it, you and Unser are sitting outside and he sparks the joint and he goes, you really should have this.
Yeah, I know. It's great.
And that you don't even know what's going on. You don't even know why he's saying that.
No, I just treat him like he's an idiot. I remember thinking, you're such an idiot, because she had that, that I've won kind of attitude all the time.
Yeah.
And that next scene was pretty gnarly.
And again, I thought, and it was right with the Jimmy O stuff and all that. And it was the culmination of this is why we're doing this show in the first 3 seasons. So we're finishing those first 3 and then we'll go to 4, 5, 6, and then we'll do 7 kind of as its own.
On its own, yeah.
As its own, because it's really its own thing. And the show really started to change dramatically. But one thing that didn't change was, to me, Agent June Stahl is not just the top villain. And I'm not, I would say that to anyone. I've been saying that. Everybody knows who listens to it. The reason is because no other villain had the longevity in a way. You were part of the show. Like Zobel was 1 season. And then who was it after that?
We had that bad cop who came in for 1 season.
Yeah.
And then really it was playing Jax. Oh, really? Wow.
There was
Zobel was 1 season, only season 2. That's it.
That's it.
Oh, wow. I thought he was there for a long time.
You were there for 3 seasons, darling.
Oh, wow. That's so cool to know. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we never had anyone with that longevity. Never.
I had no idea. I just figured there were running characters. Because, see, I would show up for like a day or 2 of work and go home. I didn't know anything about, and I'd just be like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, Titus, who played Jimmy O, 1 season. Really,
One season?
You were on top of the mountain with the bad guys. Theo and I talk about this all the time.
Cool. Thank you. Huh?
Theo and I talk about this all the time about how, the bad things that Sons that we did, the selling guns, this, that. But there was always, it seemed to be someone darker than us, someone badder than us. That you would still cheer for the bad boys that we were at the end of the day. And you, my darling, were responsible to the top of the mountain for those first 3 seasons. And we fucking loved you, man. We loved you,
thank
Allie.
you. Thank you so much.
So much. You have to understand that to me, and again, I say it time and time again, when there's someone who comes on screen and you never know, not just the character, but as the actor, the choices you would make. And I love what you said, by the way, because we talk a lot to a lot of young actors and artists who watch this. You can't prepare anything because you never know, not just what the other person's going to do, but what the scenario is going to be. How's the day going to be set
How you're
up?
going to feel. Yeah.
How you're going to feel.
Right.
So you can't deny whatever your feelings are. I remember once I was doing this show after Sons, Luke Cage, and I was doing this scene with Mahershala, Ali, right?
Great actor.
And I meet him in the scene, and we're playing like partners. And we're these two really tough, like gangster guys. And I started like welling up. And after the take, he goes, "Are you all right? Like, what's going on?" And there was this history between us from when we were kids, but I wasn't denying it, that I was feeling it in the scene, because if I deny it, I'm denying whatever that character is feeling, right?
Yeah.
You, by saying that is, and this is such a great lesson, is that so many people plan things and you cannot plan them, especially on a show like Sons, where you get 2 takes, 3 takes, maybe
1 take, man. I'd be like, seriously, 1? We're not going again. 1? I can do better. Can we do it again? Yeah. That was a little intense.
And you would do things, your little choices. The breath is obviously an amazing one. And I love that you use someone, because it is, now that you
But I didn't know that till afterwards.
Oh,
I didn't know I was mimicking that person till afterwards, because I talked to them again and I was just like, I can't stand you. I was like, oh my God, I mimicked you. It was like, yeah.
And the other thing you would do is you would take your time. So if someone was speaking to you, you would like look at them, you'd smile, and then you might move to the other side of the room before you said your next line. And it would confuse the person you were speaking to, because they'd be like, what is Stahl doing? And it was just, there was always a plan of action.
You made all those interrogation scenes so different.
Yeah, that was really fun.
You had so many of them with Ron and Charlie. But these interrogation scenes, baby, they were different. And with Otto, I mean, just different. Really?
I gotta watch this again, because I just remember, look, the guiding principle was, she's just a cat and soon they'll out themselves. I just remember just watch. I was always as June, very watchful. And I was smarter than all of them.
Yeah.
So that's all I thought was, you're smarter than all of them. Just watch, and it was really fun. I gotta watch it again, you guys. Okay.
And she killed, and June, and listen, June had a lot of bodies. She killed a lot of people.
Yeah, she killed her girlfriend, right?
Yeah, killed her girlfriend in cold blood.
Amazing.
Cold blood.
Amazing.
That was great.
And I said to Theo in last episode, I said it was always so great to see you at the finales. We would always meet at the Chinese Man Theater. And we'd all see you in season 4 or 5, because you'd come and you were so part of the show. Today has been great, Ali. We can't thank you enough to see your beautiful face. And
you guys are so
your family's
sweet.
Great, and John's great, and we love you. And
we're all good. Thank you for having me. That was a great. It really kind of warms my heart. It was a great experience, and you guys were so fun to work with. So.
And you see it online. I mean, there is such a giant love. The second week, because we talk about Stahl all the time, because we're doing the first 3, and then when we go to the other ones, we'll talk about whatever. But there was a thing with Stahl, because I do think that the first 3 seasons of that show were so special, because there was nothing like it on TV.
No.
It really had taken the world by storm. Really, after the Gemma assault in season 2, episode 1, that really changed.
I remember Katie doing that. Was horrific. Remember?
Yeah.
That? Oh, God.
And that was kind of when the show went like boom, right? Like right up. Because and to see the fan, however many years later this is, because we're living in a retromania time, because I think we're holding on to these things that made us feel a certain way.
Well, there was so much heart in it. There was so much heart in that show. As violent as it was, as crazy as it could be, there was so much heart, and you really got that.
Yeah,
everybody wore their hearts on their sleeves, and they loved each other. And you don't see that a lot anymore. Everything's more typical, if you ask me, but that's me. I'm partial.
No, I agree. No, you're right. You're 100%. And more than that, I don't even beyond the word typical. I think that you're not as connected to anything anymore.
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
don't have a deep connection to something.
Yeah,
to anything.
Weird. Yeah.
And it's just because everything comes so easy.
I think you're right. I think everything is too easy, and there's too much of it. Quite
There's
honestly.
too much. No, that's 100%. There's too much. I think someone said something, and they would have to verify this, and I'm sure they will. When Sons was on, I think in the beginning, there was like 100 and something scripted shows, and now there's like 700 and something.
It's crazy.
So when you think about that, these characters resonated. Everyone talked about it. I went to a meeting the other day for one of our other companies out here in Austin, and all they knew.
I love Austin.
Yeah, thanks. It's amazing here. Is everyone, all they know, they talk about sons, and it's like, even no matter what you do after, because and when I talk,
No, I know it's weird
because it was a time in their life that was incredibly special to them because they could link in. So when they know every little move June Stahl made. The fact that we're talking about the breath, the fact that we're talking about the movement, the way she would, move her jacket and hold her gun and look at people and the eyes.
This is why we had this, baby. This is why we had you on the cat and mouse thing. That you're going to do 2 shows, maybe 3. Oh, you're just going to end up screwing all the guys in Charming. It all changed because of you, girl.
Yeah.
That character changed because of you.
Yeah.
You're pivotal on that freaking show, and we love you. And now go to your thing. You got something to go to.
I got to go to the eye doctor to change my prescription.
Go change your prescription.
Exciting geriatric problems. All right. Love you guys. How do I get out of here?
Just exit out. Just go.
Right.
Bye. Unbelievable.
Well,
best, literally the best. Listen to me when I say this. There is no one. I know we had all these others. The best villain ever on that show.
Yeah.
And it proves it in the finale, which we're going to get to right now. We're going to whiz through, as they say.
Let's go.
Nothing. What she did in this show, because this is a giant episode for her. This is all the Stahl stuff that we just talked about. So listen, the show opens up.
Triobloidi
opens up. It's finale time, which is always exciting. Stahl opens the preview. I mean, it's meant to be, right? She was just on. She opens the preview.
Yeah.
And so it starts with these rats eating the crow. I have a question. How'd they do it? Did they put Cool Ranch Doritos on this thing?
A little bit of peanut butter. I'm not sure, but our Wranglers in LA are the best in the world. So
is that the craziest thing? Did those rats get like their own cast chairs? Yeah. How did they know how to do that?
They get paid a lot of money to do that.
A lot of money.
Yeah. 2 takes, rats, go.
You got 2 takes.
Got 2 takes. That's it. Here's the peanut butter. Go.
Those rats.
And the rats go, stop calling them rats. Stop calling rats. You get
Ratatouille. Yeah. Those are the rats that inspired Ratatouille. Okay. So here's something I just want to point out really quick. I love the night riding shots. I do. We don't get them a lot. When we're riding at night with the headlights.
Theo, remind me, I think in these finales, we had a little bit more money to spend, maybe. We had a couple more days to work on the show. Well, that adds more riding. And bro, those nighttime shit, they were so much fun. Hey, weren't they?
This was a riding episode. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Tell me now, because you know it, the music, the motorcycles. Was this supposed to be like a Western film, this finale?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's all Western. It's all Clint Eastwood. It's all
spaghetti Western.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Okay.
The whole show.
So Weston and Zobel are at odds. They're not speaking.
And Theo, how come I don't remember Zobel was working with the feds? He's working with the FBI. He's on the take.
I don't remember
that
thing about anything. I did not. You want to talk about? Megan was watching part of it with me last night.
What the hell?
It was one of the most surprising things when they said the Fed thing. I went,
right?
What?
When?
No idea.
How?
Okay. So Tig's taking a nap at the station. All of us are there. I remember none of that. I don't remember us all being at that station. Clay has the bandana on. I call it bandana mode Clay. That's when he's, I guess that's 5 inches of that blue and
white bandana. He's never looked better.
Never looked better.
And remember in the Culling, the show before, we just came from a massive fight with the white nationalists.
Yeah.
Massive
fist fight.
We all got, in the parking lot. Everyone's been thrown in jail now. And there we are, sleeping it off, all hungover, all fighty. And Zobel comes out and he's being protected. Like, what?
Oh,
What?
and
By
I
the
got to tell you
Mayans?
something.
Did you remember that? The Mayans are protecting Zobel?
Well, I'll tell you,
right.
before he comes, there's an Unser Stahl scene. He tells her about the assault on Gemma.
Oh, yeah. Good job. Way to bring that up.
She lets him know Zobel's history. That's when I was blown away. I was like, what? This guy's a rat? He's doing what? And it reminded me of Whitey Bulger.
Pick up. About what?
Whitey Bulger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bulger,
So,
yeah.
he was doing all these nefarious things, but he was under protection of the government, which is, again, one of these loopholes in the system where a lot of guys, it happened with that guy, Sammy the Bull Gravano. It happened with a lot of these guys where they go in WIT Pro or they go in these things and then they continue to do what they do. They continue dealing drugs. They continue dealing because their information is greager than the damage.
Than not doing it. You got to keep doing it to get more info for the cops.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So again, I even wrote here, this is all news to me. So the Mayans come to protect Zobel. At this point, it's so funny. There's a show called The Mayans and they're like, we were all lovey-dovey at the end. And at this point, they were still our biggest threat to the club.
Yeah.
They
no love lost between the Sons and the Mayans here.
Yeah,
typical Western standoff with the two sides. I mean, it was crazy.
Have you ever ridden a bike with the ape hangers?
I have.
It's really uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just it's a look, man. It can't be for comfort. I mean, they say they're called ape hangers for and you just get to rest your arms a little bit. The boys put the front pedals on it. I guess you can really sit back, but I'd be afraid of falling asleep.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just, for me, I think like the blood draining from my arm, like I'd be uncomfortable the whole time. I just don't. So I was thinking about that. Okay, so Unser Weston scene. Unser says a line in there. I know you know it. He walks in and Weston's peeing.
Yeah. His
first line is, "You're not going to wash your hands." He has this important information to tell him, but he's disgusted that he didn't wash his hands.
And here it is, the brilliance of the writing.
The fucking brilliance of the writing.
Who thinks about that shit?
This horrific human being that Weston's playing, this horrific person.
Correct.
The most thing that he's disgusted by is that he didn't wash his hands.
Wash your hands. Aren't you going to wash your hands?
But the way, like, aren't you
beautiful?
It's fucking beautiful. Okay. I want to say too at this point, because we give everybody shout out. I love how everybody says, "Oh, they're always so nice to everyone. They think everybody's great." Because they are. Henry Rollins, who plays Weston, was fucking perfectly cast in this role. And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I know Weston's a bad guy. I mean, the archetype of the look with his traps and the way he stood and the way he was perfect for that role.
He got into his skin.
Yeah.
He got into a very dark human being's skin and he stayed there. He was quiet. He didn't speak a lot. He didn't need to, because when he took his shirt off, it was all written on his chest what he did. And he wore that like a badge beautifully.
So then Hale comes in and Hale's trying to do the right thing. Hale's still trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. So we go to Jax with Otto in prison. And now everybody, what we're doing in the beginning of this episode is we're regurgitating and telling everyone that Zobel is an informant. I'm not going to use the word rat, is an informant.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're just going to keep telling people that, and that's going to lay the foundation for all the things that are going to occur as we go throughout. Zobel is now talking about, well, before we get there, that old Western music kicks in for the first time. This is when we know that they're going to set this up as like an Unforgiven, as a Western thing. This is the day I do remember. I remember being on that street in Santa Clarita.
And we leave you there too. Juice stays there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the most screen time I think I had in the first 3 seasons, and I didn't say a word.
Didn't say one word.
So I'll tell you a little sidebar. Somebody's ringing my door. What's going on here? You're going to hear a dog barking. It's chaos. Okay. So who's ringing the bell? So check this out.
All the time. Yeah, go ahead.
Watch her. Listen. She's still figuring out bells and stuff. Juno. Good girl.
Remember when the phone rang when I was in Kelowna with Diana? The phone rings.
It was chaos.
Come on, it was chaos. Diana,
Do you know why? Do you know what? If you ever read the book Inside a Dog's Head, you know why they bark at people who ring the bell?
No.
So think about a dog's mind. And again, I've never lived a day in my life without him. Why they bark at mailman, why they bark at everybody who comes up to the door. When they bark, the person leaves most of the time. So if it's a delivery person, a mail person, they bark and it leaves. So what they're doing is working.
Yeah, excellent.
So they continue to do it because it works.
Yeah.
So here's what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
On that, I met this person yesterday here in Austin, and she's working for one of the companies we have. And she says, "Hey, I just moved here from Santa Clarita." And I said, "Oh," I said, "That's funny. I'm talking about that on the show." She said, "I remember you guys filming. I was younger. And I remember you guys always filming on those main streets. You guys would always come down. And I remember when the camera, the whole town would get excited."
Yeah. Yeah.
And we really did take over that main street of Santa Clarita. And especially this day, we were on that main area. And we're having this Western type standoff. We're all there in the beginning. Jax is coming from prison.
All the horses on the other side of the cops. The Mayans and the SOA, all of our horses along the side.
Yeah, and the music's playing, and we're ready to go. So we cut into the inside, and Zobel's talking to Polly about going to Budapest. Again, don't remember any of this, by the way. I guess they lived in Budapest.
He's from there.
He's from there.
Yeah.
Okay. Polly
because he goes, "We're gonna go back home," and she goes, "Budapest? That's home." He's going back.
Have you shot a movie in Budapest?
No, but I was there last year when I was doing Van Helsing. We got to visit Budapest. Beautiful.
But you've never shot there because a lot of people shoot there.
I've never filmed there. No.
Yeah, Kevin was going to shoot a movie there right after. I've shot in Bulgaria, but I've never shot You've shot in Bulgaria
many times.
Yeah, Sofia.
Yeah,
interesting place to shoot a film.
I lived in a castle. We'll talk about that later. We're going to talk about that on
our other show,
Patreon.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Talk about the castle in fucking Slovakia.
So Unser Hale pull up to Main Street, and this is when they got to come in and kind of regulate a little here and be like, if this pops off, we got to get the sheriffs in, we got to get this. And Unser has basically told him, "You're in charge. I am with the Sons. I am not going to try to hide it anymore."
No, I'm out.
I'm out. It's about Gemma. He loves Gemma.
Yeah.
I'm going to do whatever it is for her.
Yeah.
Here's my question, because I like to dig into the stupidity sometimes, and I say that in the nicest way.
Sure.
Alvarez wants to speak to Clay in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
The cops are all there, Charming PD. No. Hold on. Clay pulls out a gun and hands it to Tig or whoever.
To me, yeah, he did. To me.
Why didn't they arrest him?
Because we're in Charming.
But he has a fucking firearm.
No one gets arrested in Charming. Hardly. Look, here, this whole scene for me did not ring true. I'm sorry. It just didn't. It was too big, too much, two cops on the, hang on, they're gonna. No one's gonna do anything. No one's gonna shoot anybody. We're all gonna go to jail for the rest of our lives if we do. So it was a suspenseful drop of suspension moment that for me didn't really, really work. Not for lack of trying, but I never really bought much of it. Sorry.
And I think you're right. Even to the point of him not telling Alvarez that Zobel's a rat, and he's saying, "Because I want to do it myself." And it's like, but you could have made a deal with him and said,
right there. Yeah.
He's a rat. We'll do it together.
Yeah.
Again, we're taking a lot of big jumps here. And I know the Sam fam and everybody's going to be like, "No, but it's because of this," because I know they like to defend it, but this is just our opinion. And again, maybe I don't remember a lot of this because it didn't ring true to me, because it was like, it felt like a lot of this was for show and not for.
I could not agree more. And it was. It's simple. We're doing this show, you and I, and we're telling it the way it is.
Yeah.
Well acted, but it was for fucking show.
Yeah, and we're gonna talk about a few other instances coming up. But while we're waiting there,
you're on it. Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Otto, we cut to Otto. The guy slams him in the head with the brick.
God, so violent.
It was fucking brutal, bro.
And again, I'm going to ask you a question. What's the point of Otto whispering something in his ear that he knows is going to kill him anyway, that he's not going to have to not tell? Like, what's the point? Just
obviously, A, it's for dramatic effect.
all right.
B, if you want it to be completely psychotic, which you've played enough of them to know it.
I certainly have.
You might want to think that this is the last thing that this person will remember before they leave this earth.
Before they leave this earth. All right. I'll give you that.
Sure. Right. You know what I mean?
Violent.
In
a library.
What was the book playing?
In the neck. Huh?
What was the book playing?
I don't remember.
They say Sons of Anarchy in the book. So I wanted to know if it's a real book or was it made for the show?
I don't know.
Okay.
Peeps, help us out with that.
Help us out. I'd like to know. Okay. Weston leaving with his kid, the crew's tracking. Cameron calls and tells Edmund, he's got to do this. Cameron's a mess, by the way. Jamie, who plays Cameron, is a mess in this episode. Can you explain to me why?
He should have been nominated.
Why was he a mess?
Because they're now trailing him. The Irish are working with the Mayans. The Irish are working with Zobel. They're being trailed. They're being trailed by the cops, by the ATF. He's starting to sweat. Jimmy O, who we meet in the 3rd season, is starting to go, what the fuck's going on? What the fuck's going on? So he's in a pickle. He's in a real pickle, and Jamie played him so beautifully. We'll talk about a couple.
Yeah, I mean, he was like, he's sweating. He like,
sweating, not in a good place.
And I love, and again, this is why I say ego is the death of an artist. More importantly, ego is the death of an actor. Is he doesn't give a shit the way he looks. He doesn't care about like that. He's all, sweaty and his eyes are red and he looks crazy and all that.
That's one of the reasons why you and I fell in love with this show for 7 years.
Yeah.
Makeup, schmakeup,
yeah.
Sweat on the brow, leather, stink. I mean, it was just the greatest actor gig. If you felt it and were in it the way you and I were, and most everybody was on that show. It was just a great
and I mean, this is why, again, we just talked about with Ali, maybe this is the lack of connection to film today is, I mean, one, most of them are super downers. There's not a lot of entertainment, but also the fact that, I mean, you got these guys, like I said, who are playing mailmen who have 8-packs, a tan, and they're, and their hair's perfect. And I'm like, really? Really? Like do you really look like a GQ model and you work for the Postal Service?
How great was Allie on our show?
Oh, and again, I can't wait to get into her.
Going.
So Zobel wants to wait for his daughter, which is understandable. That's got to go for a minute, right? He knows where she is.
Yeah,
he's
but
waiting.
Here's where I got a problem. I mean, she goes, I'll be an hour. An hour? We know it's going to take a day. It's going to take till the nighttime at least. By the time she gets all dolled up, which she does, goes to buy an hour.
Yeah, nobody takes an hour.
No one takes an hour. Anyway, keep going.
And how about he just said, hey, you know what? I agree. You want to go see this dude, even though I don't like him? I'll wait outside. The Mayans will all wait.
Yeah, something. Yeah, it was too flippant.
I don't want to bring logic. Okay, so this is a cool part. Freddie, the tattoo artist, who's on the show. Do you know who he is?
No.
Freddie on the show, that tattoo artist, and his last name is Leaving Me, which it shouldn't because he's one of the most famous tattoo artists.
I knew he was a famous tattoo. Good for you.
Let me tell you why he's so famous. Do you know what he created?
Please.
The Reaper.
Did he?
He created the Reaper.
I created the Saskatchewan Rough Rider.
You created that on a baseball. It looks like it's on a baseball and it's a football team, which is odd. But
football. Oh my God.
Freddie, the tattoo artist in this episode, created the Reaper.
Yeah.
So he has a part on it. We used to like doing that. We used to like bringing people on for the finale who weren't necessarily actors, but existed in the world. Sonny would do them and all these other people would come on. Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it didn't. So everybody's got the mask down. The silencer's on.
Yeah, but hang on. I got to just say, for me, that phone call that Freddie took
Yeah.
with Weston laying down. Then he gets up and it was too loud. It was too loud. I heard everything coming through the phone. Weston would have heard everything coming through the phone. I don't know why Kurt did it that way. I would have taken that guy. I would have turned him around a little bit. Weston's blurry in the background. He's going, yeah, sure, man. Yeah, I'd like a cheeseburger with fries. Yeah, that something like. But he was right there, too loud for me. Anyway, that's.
I mean, if you want to cut logic off the beginning, what the fuck's he getting a tattoo for in the middle of all this chaos? He could have held off.
No, it's so true.
Could have held off on the ink.
Could have held off on the ink.
I mean, just a day or two until the smoke clears on what's going on with your life. You just got out of prison.
All right. So the boys are in the truck.
Okay. So I just want to say this.
Yeah.
This is brilliant writing. Megan was watching the show at this point. Every part of you in your existence as a person on this journey we're all on should hate the character Weston. You should hate everything about him. You know what he did. You know who he is. You know what his belief system is. You should hate everything about him. And yet, when he has that talk with his son, you felt something. You felt a thing between a parent and a child where you were like, even though this guy is the biggest piece of shit, you were actually like, God, I'm sad for his son, right? That is, and even though his son is horrible.
It was a device that Sutter was so good at in bringing the full character in full circle.
Crazy.
This guy's disgustingly despicable, his beliefs that we've taught. But you know what? He loved his boy. And he's going to give him that. He's going to give him that before he takes 4 in the head. And that's what he did.
And I think I think it shows that, you know, I've always said this, and again, you and I have always had to rationalize this because we play so many bad guys. It's like even people who are really bad feel that they're doing the right thing because their belief system tells them that, right? And that could be even for people who think they're virtuous, right? You know, I know a lot of people who are like overly religious, but they believe their religion and no one else's, which is a contradiction of their religion because they're supposed to accept.
Exactly.
You know, that's why I always say, you know, false virtue is one of the scariest things in the world. So again, this was an interesting thing because this guy who is a bad guy in our world, but yet loves his family, right? Gemma, who's also a bad person, loves her family. And what I liked what happened in this, and I don't know if we expounded on this throughout the rest of the seasons, Jack struggled with this. The killing of him. He knew he had to do it. He wanted to do it. But when everybody's toasting him later on, we'll get to that, and everybody's congratulating him, he seemed to have a bit of like, whether he was thinking about his own son, whether he just killed someone. I'm sure that's, you know, got to feel terrible for someone. But that was an interesting choice that he was playing there, those little moments. Did you notice that he didn't feel good about it?
Hey, I did. And it goes to this. It's very simple. That when you take someone's life, I suppose, I've never done that in real life.
Yeah.
Will I ever? They are a father to someone, a son to someone, a brother to someone. They do have a life that you know nothing about. All we know is what he did to Gemma was so horrifying. And you're going to go now. But he's still a father to the son, and the kid was looking at his dad, and Jax had a moment of that kid's never going to see his dad ever again. That's what that was. That's what that moment was.
Yeah. And it's really interesting. And again, it just shows the writing. So while I might not have loved everything that was going on, it's really good for the writing. So now Cameron, who's killing it this episode, tells
Jamie
his son,
McShane telling his son,
kill Stahl.
I mean, you have, and this is what, just kill the ATF bitch. Now, I'm serious, bro. That's where his head was at in the car at the moment. He's losing it. For him to actually tell his boy, "Oh no, you're going to kill her," and Edward goes, "But Dad, he goes, I don't care. You're going to kill her to prove you're a man." He's never going to see his son again. He's going to get caught. He's going to get electrocuted and die on the electric chair. That's really what's going to happen. But at that time, Jamie McShane said, no, be a man and fucking do it. Whoa, talk about high tension.
Yeah, that is high tension. And again, he's brilliant in that because he's really unraveling.
Callard Harris, who plays Edward, brilliant. Those two guys, man, oh man.
Yeah, they crushed it.
So
and
good.
so now we go to the boys at the bar, and even just Happy saying how proud he is of Jax.
Yeah,
It was
good
almost
pickup.
like he was being initiated.
Yeah.
You know? Weird setup. Like I know Jax had,
It was a very weird setup, and that was still a residual of the culling. All the women and the children are still at the clubhouse. We're still being hunkered down because we're going to war. We don't even know what the war is, but they're still there. All the gals are still there pouring drinks for us all. It was just a weird celebration, wasn't it, Theo?
Yeah, it was weird. And then we get to Gemma with Tara. Sack is following, and she spots Polly. She sees the cigar truck and and Polly's all dappered up, ready to go, go see Edmund, and she's going to follow her. And she tells Tara basically what's up. That's the girl. She's the one. That's Zobel's daughter. And she knows I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And she says a line. She says, always forward. Where are we going? Forward.
I love that.
It's great. It's great. It's great. And she pulls out.
Yeah.
So Edmund's contemplating the gun. I kind of went down a little bit of a ride here. It was almost like I got on a ride at Six Flags. I had no idea there were blanks in this gun. I don't know.
Not only did I not know or remember there were blanks, I don't remember the gun.
Yeah, no. I remember none of it.
Any of the planting of it and what? We knew the gun was what?
And this is what's weird because we've already done season 3 and we're wrapping up the first 3 seasons now. I know Stahl lives, but I'm sitting there going, did she get shot?
Right.
Did she get shot in the leg or something? Or
that was the whole belief that she's going to die. That's 100%. That as an audience, we were supposed to believe. Yeah.
And then I knew something else was off because Stahl is super calm and literally walks up and takes the gun from him. So I was like,
after she tells him, go and puke in the bathroom. Don't puke at the table. Just go right ahead. I'm going, oh no, he's going to get the gun. She's going to get fucking shot.
Nonchalantly.
Yeah.
I'm on the ride. I have no idea. The wool's about to be pulled over my eyes. I don't know what's happening here, right? I am. So this is why I say she's the best villain ever, because she's one step ahead, but the way she decided to play it was not, actors could play that so many different ways. She played it very nonchalant. The whole thing was like, calm down.
And I thought, because I couldn't remember anything, I can't wait to talk to Allie about why she played it like that, so nonchalantly. Well, Kim, keep watching the fucking show because then you learn why she did that. It's called brilliant acting.
I know.
She knew there was blanks in there the whole time. I wouldn't have played it. Oh, that's what. Oh, God, that's good.
Now let's get into, again, we have some, little loopholes here in the show. She shoots him.
Yeah.
She lies over the walkie. They wouldn't have come and busted down the doors. They wouldn't have.
Dramatic effect.
Okay.
We needed Cammie Hayes to hear about it.
Yeah.
Right. We needed Cammie Hayes to hear his son is dead.
Well, she didn't say that yet. All she's saying is they were blanks, and he actually had the balls I didn't think he had. So we're there. Right. We go back to Old West music is back. Juice is trying to look super hard. I'm stepping into frame.
Yeah, man. Isn't that where you pull out the phone?
Yeah.
Why didn't you talk? Why didn't they give you a goddamn line?
They did. They just cut it.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. They cut the line. Yeah. I think I said something like he's on the move.
He's on the move.
And I might have said it like, he's on the move. But they got rid of that. They can't. There's no time for us. There's no time for us. So Gemma's ready to go. Polly finds Edmund, Stahl in waiting. This was so well filmed, by the way. Can I just say that they caught on frame all 3 actors in different spaces of the camera?
Good for Sutter. Yeah, right.
Pretty
there.
Amazing.
Boom, boom, boom. 4. Even caught a foot of Eddie Hayes on the ground, Stahl by the wall, Polly in the kitchen, and Gemma walking in. Are we there now? Can I talk about that now?
Yeah, we're there.
So again, Theo, and I've seen this show way back in the day in 2009. I saw it at the big goddamn Chinese Man Theater.
100 years
Man
ago.
Chinese, 100 years ago. And it all started to come back to me. How Stahl had to think what to do, who's shooting who, what she's going to get blamed for, what she's not. Gemma's coming in, all hell's breaking loose, right?
And Stahl has the crazy eyes going, which she does so well, which I didn't talk to her about. She did this thing with her eyes where she would get them real big when she was like figuring things out.
Oh, good pickup. Yeah.
And she would just like, that's when she would like either shoot someone or was planning something or was on the phone.
See, I could never do that as Tig. It's too much blue. Be too much blue going on.
Well, I got with that shirt on too. I got to tell you, it's electrifying. It's electrifying your eyes. Thank God you're mitigating the color with the sun, with the readers
with my
on,
reading glasses. So I can see you now.
Because it would be that shirt
too much green background.
It's a Rough Rider, not just on the logo. It's Rough Rider
spare
in the
bedroom
eyes.
Here is all too much.
It's all over. So Cameron hears this all over the radio. Here's another question. God, look at this. I feel like I'm doing this at every scene. Sack just leaves. He doesn't go check for Gemma. He doesn't drive around the block. He doesn't he leaves her for dead, literally.
Well, he just feels that Gemma's going to get caught or she's run out the back, right?
Go try to find her, throw her in the back of the bike. He's a fucking prospect. What is he not looking for her for?
That's why he's a prospect. He just split.
Bad decision.
Okay.
So Zobel decides he has to go. This is when Juice makes the call, actually. Here's my thing. We see all the Sons loading up.
Yeah.
Okay. You were part of this.
It was fucking stupid. It was just
stupid. Why are we putting shotguns in our back?
Oh God, I'm just so glad good old Bobby, good old Mark Boone Jr.
What if it fucking goes off?
Booney. It's called again.
It'll blow Munson's little ass right off. It'll blow Munson's ass off.
And there's spaghetti westerns. And that scene to me was a spaghetti western. We have more swords and guns and shotguns for a club that has no guns, or we seem to never really have enough. We had more guns coming out of our freaking cuts that day than any. I think Sutter went even more. Put more in.
Put more.
Yell out a couple more. I know.
I think they had two guns crossed, Deadpool, like sword.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
That's what we did. See, that was
if you're
Deadpool.
driving
ahead of the game.
If you're driving down whatever highway is in Charming, the 406.
No. Lots of guns. Batman.
I would be driving next to them in like a little Honda Accord, going, "What the fuck?"
I'm calling 911.
Why do they have so many guns?
Many guns. No, Bobby sticking that shotgun in the back of his cut, that made the whole show for me.
My goodness. What a weird choice that was.
Keep going. We're almost there.
Okay. So I don't know what was going on. Super dangerous. Gemma tells on so she's on the lam.
Yeah.
Everybody's riding with the heavy artillery.
But I gotta say too, like I said, nice bike roll downs by the team. I mean, we really had, again, beautiful riding in that show.
Yeah.
People were starting to come into their own now. End of the second season. It was a bit of a shit show in season 1, but by season 2, we started to really, most of us anyway.
Most of us.
We'll keep it on the down low, but
yeah, everybody knows
pretty good. We did pretty good.
Yeah, but when you talk about the liability of the first season of us, I don't know how half of us are still standing. But the second season, everybody, we were even doing kind of these moves. You'll see one with Jax later when he pulls onto the pier. Like we were able to ride even a little more aggressive than we were on these 600-pound bikes.
I can't wait to talk about that. Let's keep going. Zobel, are we there now?
So wait, I have to say something. We roll up to the convenience store where he's holed up. I want to point out what I was telling you. You're very skinny in this episode.
Oh, am I skinny? Am I skinny? Did you find me skinny, Theo?
You did, and your hair is very light.
To my boots.
Your hair's light. You have a light. You have like an almond brown hair color.
Well, you know what would happen, honest to God? Think about this, bro. We are filming this in November of 2009. We've had 6 months of sunshine, and my hair got longer and longer and longer as take. And it just got a little bit lighter and lighter until the start of the next season. It'd go a little darker, then it would get light again. That's truly what happened.
You were probably about $1.80.
No, I was never that light for Tig. I was 190 though, 188, one.
A lot of sugar in those
187.
Godfathers. A lot of sugar in those Godfathers you were
A
drinking.
lot of sugar at that time. I never ate any food, but had to have a Godfather to make me go to sleep at night. Okay, was it just me? We're
Okay.
at the convenience store in Zobel. Like
Yeah.
Adam Arkin, who's, we know what we think of Adam, like brilliant.
Brilliant.
A lot of face acting going on in that scene. He did a lot of like,
Gotta tell you. A
you
lot
know,
of
like
face
kids-
acting.
like-
That was a very memorable day for me for a lot of reasons I don't want to get into. I do remember that
Did I
day.
forget something that happened to you?
You did. I'll tell you after the show. I usually say everything on this show, but maybe we'll save it.
Some
for the
things
other
we got to
show.
save for Patreon. I
Yeah,
mean it.
that was more of a. That was a really contentious time on that show.
Okay, save that.
Yeah, I'll save that. But I do remember that day. It was pretty chaotic. There was a lot of extras, a lot of people,
A lot of
a lot
buses, a
going
lot
on.
of kids, a lot of teachers,
a lot of pressure.
a lot of pressure.
It
Yeah.
was kind of at the end. I think you were right what you said earlier. We had usually we do episodes in like 6 to 8 days, right? What do we
We
usually
did
do?
them in 7 and 8, and we do the finales in 9 and 10.
Correct. Sometimes more. Sometimes we'd add another 2 on. Sometimes
Correct. Correct.
So that was a long one, and we were at the end of it. Jax gets the phone call. He's got to go. Cameron kills Sack. I have a couple of questions here, and I mean this in a good way.
Yeah.
He obviously is going to, it looks like he's going to kill the kid. He's got the gun. Sack plays it pretty well in his eyes, like he's got to do something.
Yeah.
He bum rushes him and he gets stabbed. So he really does kind of die a hero in a way. But in that melee, Tara doesn't do anything. She's frozen. She could have hit him with like a coffee pot or a pan or
I don't know. I
Maybe.
think when you see something like that,
yeah,
know,
you're frozen.
you're frozen.
And the baby's there.
The shock, he's gonna kill. No, any violent move, she just thinks she needs to back away from it all.
Jamie playing Cameron is fantastic. In
The
that.
Oscar goes too.
He's fantastic.
I mean, I say that moment with you. I say it with Ronnie, all of
Yeah.
it. And at this moment for Jamie playing Cammy, the Oscar goes too.
When he's looking at that baby and saying a son for a son,
What he did with Johnny, what he did with what he did with the baby.
it's fucking amazing.
It's just, he made it so real. And that's a real child, people. That's a real little Abel, a real little baby. Always twins on set.
Yeah.
The way he held the boy, it was just hard to watch.
And again, that's, you guys got to remember, who's ever watching this, and I know we get a lot of stuff from people who are interested in acting or, whatever. I mean, there's a real baby on the set.
Yeah.
You got a knife and a gun. Remember, these are real guns that have blanks, right? These
Correct.
are not, this is, the stakes are already pretty high
Correct.
on the set. So obviously safety first, which is, Coates's AKA besides
nickname.
Agent 644 is, it really does amplify everything for you when there's a kid on set, because now, when you have that baby on set, I can't imagine what Jamie as an actor pulling that big blade out pretty close to that child has to be thinking.
Yeah.
That's tough. I've never had to do that. I've been in, obviously you have as well, like predicaments where, things are a little strange, but not with another.
I know that's a great point, but I know for a fact that the knife was a fake knife when
Of
the child was
course.
involved. It was a fake.
Of course, but I'm just talking about the mental as your character, how much
how
much you have to go into a different space
Yeah.
of, you can connect with another person that knows what's going on in life, even if they're young, 8, 9, 10 and above. But when it's an infant
Yeah. No.
who doesn't even know what they're doing there,
Whole different ballgame.
it's a whole different ballgame. So kudos to him
Great
for,
stuff. Great.
yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
Zobel calls Hale. Hale ain't sending anyone. He's like, good luck.
Loved
Have
it.
fun.
Loved
Have
it.
fun.
Have fun.
Amazing. I've had enough.
Call an Uber before Ubers even existed.
Yeah, it didn't even exist. Good
Sorry.
luck. Call a cab.
Good luck.
Call community cars. So Jackson crew. Okay. Again, this is my big problem. I got a problem. Jackson crew find out what's happening. Clay's got to go. Why wouldn't he tell two of us to stay there?
I'm going to bring something up right now, and I know you know as much, sometimes more, sometimes less than I do, but I have a statement to make. I could be completely wrong, but I've heard that as years went on after this episode, that our boy Kurt was wondering why he didn't kill Zobel. Zobel got to get away. He got away. He just left. And he got so many people going, why did you do? He needed to die. Why did you?
Yep.
Did Kurt ever rethink why because he never came back on the show?
No, there's a rumor, and I know a lot of
that. Like, what happened there?
There's a fans are gonna talk about this. Apparently,
yeah.
Excuse me, whether it be season 3,
yeah,
someone's talking, and in the background on the news, it says a private plane crashed on the way to Budapest.
Are you even making that up?
I'm not making it up. Unless unless I was on psychedelics.
Who cares if you were? Who cares?
I might have been. But unless I dreamed that,
dreamt it. Yeah.
Dreamt it.
I mean, honestly, I don't know.
No, I think that, and I can't wait to hear what they say in the comments. And I'm going to read.
Anyway, that's why he didn't keep anyone there.
I
so
think
Bell got to get away.
So it was intentional that he didn't want to kill him. It was intentional.
Correct.
I think that when it resonated with him a little longer and maybe heard a few things, he did. He didn't bring him back because Adam was directing like crazy after this.
Correct.
He didn't bring him back, but he did do something with the news in the background in a later season.
Okay.
In season 3, I believe. Okay.
Yeah. Great.
Because he should have left two of us back there and said, grab him.
Yeah. No, we're all going.
Okay. Zobel's flying. Oh, by the way, Clay rode out without strapping his helmet on.
I'm sure he did.
He did.
Okay.
His helmet would have went right off.
Yeah, right off his head. Well, he's got a big
head. And you can't strap it while you're riding. Okay.
Well, he could. Keep going.
You're right. He could. Okay. So Zobel flying out. Hale comforting Tara. I'm going to bring up what I keep saying. And I know that that they were setting something up.
Look at Hale rubbing Tara's leg. He never got over the crush he's had on her his whole life.
They were setting something up. He wasn't supposed to be killed. Sure. They were setting something up.
And it never came to fruition.
Because of contract shit.
Because of shit going down between certain people on the show. Yeah.
He was supposed to be there for a long time. They were laying the groundwork.
And why not? What a great part.
What a great part.
Anyway, that's right. Rubbing on the leg. Okay.
Unser's getting Gemma out.
And he's rubbing her leg too. Unser in the car. Touching legs, holding hands.
A lot of leg
action going on.
A lot of leg hand action.
And you know what? Dayton Callie playing Unser in that moment, he would have driven her to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
He would have driven her to Alaska to be in the car with Gemma on the lam, and he's going to take her somewhere. It's the greatest day of his life right there.
Oh, yeah. He was excited. He had to wear a cup. He had to wear a cup. He asked wardrobe for a cup. So Cameron hitting the pier with Abel. I could talk about that running scene till the day is long. If you slow it down, you'll notice that Tommy Flanagan is wearing Converse. He was wearing Converse because he cannot run.
None of us could run the way Kurt put us through that day. You and Charlie were the bunny rabbits.
Yes.
Ron and Ryan were at the back. Booney did the best he could. Me and Tommy were in the middle.
Yes.
Tommy with boots on, he needed sneakers. He couldn't.
We might have ran a half marathon that day, and I had on
Do it
super
again.
heavy boots.
Do it again.
I didn't know.
What?
We did it 963 times on a pier with loose boards.
And you're
running.
jumping over shit. Charlie's jumping over shit. We're just trying to keep up. The rabbits at the beginning of the pack. It was a hard day for a cardio workout.
I will say that is potentially, if not one of the most iconic endings of any show we've ever done. Right?
I agree wholeheartedly.
The yell, the guttural scream,
and before we get to that, I just got to mention that beautiful little baby cried right on cue when Jamie set the little boy down in the little basket at the back of the boat.
What was that basket? That's convenient. It's
basket convenient. It's convenient.
The basket of ropes that was perfectly colored.
Perfect. Yeah. And stay right there. And he takes off on that goddamn boat. And Charlie and you and Tommy and me and Pearl, we're all there. And the scream. The scream, Theo.
Wait 9 months. Here's
9 months.
Here's a scream. Go wait 9 months. Here's a fucking scream.
Take
the
that
kid's
water
gone.
cooler, people.
Go wait 9 months. Go talk to your friends about this.
Yeah, for 9 months.
What's going to happen to that kid? And I got to tell you something. It all happened pretty quick.
Jesus.
It all happened pretty quick. Like he came in, Tara's tied up. Where's the kid? What do you mean he's gone? What? And then I got to go. It was kind of very realistic because it would be like one of those things that, what?
Yeah.
We had a thing happen here. I'll tell you this quickly because it reminded me of this and it was such a weird time. Back in the, we've been here, whatever, a little while. And Kane used to like to come out of his bed in the middle of the night and hide somewhere in the house. He used to do this.
Sure. Kids love doing that.
Love doing it.
Parents don't. Where are you? Keep going.
But it was late. It was like 10:30. Kane goes to bed at like 7. Kane, right? So we're trying to keep it low because Arlo's sleeping. Kane. So Megan and I are like walking around the house. He's not in his room. Kane. He's not answering. Kane. Now the panic sets in.
Sure.
Checking everywhere. She starts checking the doors, but all the doors are locked. We have sensors everywhere. What do you mean? And then that's when your head starts doing weird things. I'm like, did he disappear like into the zeitgeist? Did he just like evaporate?
Yeah.
Because he's got to be here.
Take me up, Scotty.
Yeah.
Kane, come with me.
I'm thinking,
where's that little shit? Where was he?
He was hiding under the table, under a chair. And this is when we had to teach him that if we say his name, you have to answer.
Because it scares mommy and daddy.
Because it scares the shit out of mommy and daddy. And then they start fighting because you start blaming each other. Did you lock the door? Where is he? Where is this? Where is he? And it was just a full-blown panic. And what I loved about the scene, the reason I bring it up is Jax played this confusion. And so did Clay of like, what?
What just happened?
He took the kid. And the taking of the child is going to lead to this whole thing where me and you just reassess season 3, which is going to lay the groundwork really for all 7 seasons of what's happening here.
Correct.
But the Abel moment, really, that scene of all of us at the pier with the big long shot of the camera pulling out was so iconic for us as Sons of Anarchy. Because like Ali just said so beautifully, like the Wild Ones, with Brando, with all these guys together and the camaraderie and Clay at Jax, we're all in love with each other at that point. There's no dissension.
You know what? We didn't bring that up, but the man hugs that Jax and Clay were giving each other in this episode, we thought it was over. It was nomad. It was done. And then Gemma spills the beans. Clay and Jax look at each other and hug one another. And then the end of the show, we started the way it began. We were all together at the beginning, all passed out and bruises everywhere. And now we're all on the dock together, having to wait 9 months to see what happens at the beginning of season 3. Boom.
Yeah. And again, I think we, this was us all together at our strongest, which obviously all starts to unravel as things start to come. So listen, Ali Walker is fucking amazing. I'm so happy we had her on She hasn't seen the show either. It's really fantastic
Man, it's
when people
great.
haven't.
Hey, you know what? We're done.
We're fucking done with the first 3 seasons.
And 3.
And
You know
now we're
what that
going into the
means?
next chapter of this. You started
We
the
go
show
to
by
a
saying
next
you thought we were
chapter.
going to do a couple of episodes. We've
I
done
know.
1,000. We've done 1,000 episodes.
1,000 episodes now, and we got 2,000 to go. Season 4. Are we getting right into it?
We're getting right into season 4 next week. There is
here
no
we
stopping.
go next week, baby.
Next week, we're starting season 4. We're starting our new show, the new theory show, which who knows what the fuck we're going to talk about, by the way. It's going to be weird.
Well, knowing you, we'll have lots to talk about. I just sit and listen.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about ayahuasca. I'm going to talk about a lot of stuff. I'm going to talk about a lot of shit. I'm going to talk about my favorite tea. I'm going to talk about philosophies on life.
Here we go.
So we're going to release all that information to everyone of where that show is going to be. It's going to be terrific. And then the Q&As are going to be fun because I think that we can't answer anybody on that other stuff because it's a little too chaotic. That'll be a little hub for us. And they're going to have early access to this show. And this show is going to keep on rolling.
And other things. It's great for you and me.
Season 4.
Season 4. Here we go.
Season 4, here we go.
So what did we think of season 2, Theo? Do you want to give it a little mark? It's in the 8s, right? I mean,
better than season 3.
8.2, 8.3, 8.4, 8.5.
Well, I got to tell you, I just read something on one of these things like TV Guide or TV something. They rank season 2 the best season out of all 7.
Of all. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It certainly catapulted our whole show.
I disagree.
I disagree too. But the show went like that because of it.
Yeah, but one of the things they stated, it started with the Gemma thing, the assault on Gemma.
Yeah.
And ended with Abel being taken and everything that went on in between.
Yeah.
So to them, it was the most complete season to these reviewers. I obviously am nostalgic for season 1 because it was so new.
Yep.
Season 3, I always put as my last, but
it grew on us though. It grew on us season 3.
It grew on us a ton. I'm interested. I'm excited to get in season 4 because it's a bit of a different show because we go to jail at the end of season 3. So this is the first season 4. When we start this next week, it's the first time that the season's not starting or the episode's not starting
a day or the next week.
A few days. This is what, a year and a half later?
Year and a half later.
So I got a question.
Why do I look better? I don't understand. Why do you look better? I don't understand.
Well, we're going to see. I have a question for you. Should we do the little vignettes too?
No, we're going to save that for Patreon. We'll save that
good. Yeah, let's do that.
Those are little bonuses for them. Sure.
Yeah, that's fun. Because I don't even know where you find them. But we'll
find them.
Okay. Let's do that. We'll save that.
Guns, no pun intended. But this show is so great, and we love this so much. We'll keep it the same way. But Patreon is going to be even more. It's going to be kind of crazy good.
All right. Well, listen, I'm so happy we got Ali on. I can't wait to hear everybody's reaction. We got a lot launching on Wednesday, and we got the new season coming. Season 4. This is the finale, which everybody loves finales. We're going to talk about Ali's appearance on this and the new show.
Get out of the closet. Keep eating. Get out of the closet. Get the fuck out of here. God, I love you. I miss you.
I love you too.
See you soon. Love you. Bye,
soon.
brother. Great job.